Yeah, at any moment the audience can check out. And, when you're investing that much in, the producers and the really overseeing everything, like every second has to be accounted for.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Talent Agent Talk, where we are bringing you educational lessons and real-life stories behind the scenes of TV and film. I'm your host and talent agent, Jason Lockhart, and today we have a very unique guest. We have the guy...
unique, we're wearing ridiculous, incredible jumpsuits.
Yeah, such a unique guest that our outfits also needed to be unique and match.
Yeah.
I'm here with Jesse Malinowski, the owner of Get Seen Studios, but way more than that. He's also just a very passionate human being about helping actors and is an actor. And actually today, that's the focus, man. Today, I really want to focus on you as an actor. Can we do that?
Heck yeah, man.
Great.
Heck yeah.
Also because you're one of my actors. Actually, I have no claim to you whatsoever. I'm just grateful to be on your journey and help represent you.
I'm grateful that you're on my team and that you're on my journey, man.
Absolutely. And it's quite the journey that we've had, It's been years now.
Yeah.
And I feel like this year in particular has been very exciting.
Yeah, this year has been really good. I've been really grateful for it, and I think I think when you look for the wins constantly too, I think that helps. But, I think in a year where a lot of the echoes are like, it's slow, it's crappy. I'm over here like, I don't know. I think it's great,
Because that's your story. That's where
Yeah.
you're choosing to focus your energy.
Yeah, exactly.
I quote you all the time, and I wish other people would kind of vibe that same energy. Like, good things will come to you when you keep saying, good things are coming to me.
100%. Yeah.
So speaking of good things, I think we should talk about a major movie that came out this year. And since it is your birthday week and you're
Yeah.
the guest for this week, let's talk about Bad Boys.
Heck yeah, man. Bad Boys was a blast. Bad Boys Ride or Die. And I'm such a fan of that franchise anyway. So it was what's so interesting too is like my first big booking was American Pie 4. And now this is Bad Boys 4. So it's there must be something in there. I don't know what it is. But anyway, I'm a huge fan of the series. I love Bad Boys and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. It was awesome working with them.
And you got to work with both of them.
Yeah, both of them.
But wait, let's go backwards. Let's
Yeah.
go to the audition.
Yeah. So
So what do you remember?
so the audition comes in. Well, so I was going on vacation, and you got me an audition for Bad Boys before I left, and when I read the scene, I 100% understood it because I remembered from Bad Boys 1. I'm like, they're doing like a recall to that. I know exactly what they're doing. So I felt very confident about that audition, but I didn't end up getting that one, but I felt really good about it. Went on vacation, and I remember going on that vacation and being like, I'm not going to audition on this vacation. And my wife, Candy, and I were on a cruise, a river cruise down the Danube River in Europe. And then another Bad Boys audition came in, and I was like, all right, I got to do it. I got to figure it out. And I didn't have anything, no taping setup whatsoever. I actually created an Instagram reel on what I did, interestingly enough. But I got an extra blanket. I created a tripod out of a stool, a suitcase, and a tissue box. I used the I had like a big window that kind of it wasn't a balcony, but it was a sliding glass door. And so I used that for the light. And so I was able to create a really good looking tape with no resources essentially. And so, yeah, we essentially did it before dinner, but I was like, oh God, it's Bad Boys. I gotta do it. And that's the thing is you just don't know which one is going to be the one, And so that's why I always am really big on you got to say yes to as many opportunities as possible, because what if I would have held true to, me saying, I'm not going to audition on this vacation. I wouldn't have known that I missed out. You know what I mean? It just would have been I turned down that Bad Boys audition, and it's I would have missed working with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Like what?
And being in the trailer and being on their Instagram. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that scene became a big deal.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
it was crazy. I remember when the trailer did come out, it was like a 3-minute trailer, and 2.5 minutes go by, and I'm like, I didn't make the trailer, darn. And then literally the last 30 seconds ends with my scene, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and then it became like, I think, an iconic kind of scene of the movie. And it's, it's so funny and it's so good. And it's, mainly because of them.
Because all of you.
Yeah.
All of you contributed to that.
I mean, it's the characters of Mike and Marcus in those crazy situations, right? So them being in a crazy situation of like looking like they're stealing clothes from a trailer park, with two guys that are probably racist, like it's just ridiculous and it's funny.
Well, I remember you calling me right afterward, and you're like, I have to tell you about what happened on set.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, how many lines did you have? 2?
Yeah, like two
you-
written lines.
And you changed the whole scene by 1 line of improv.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so what's interesting, and I think this is like, for me, like a big, big lesson that I hope so many people get. Years earlier, I don't think I told you this part, but years earlier, I was on Netflix's movie Naked with Marlon Wayans. And I'm a big Marlon Wayans fan too, but he's also like a funny guy. He's got to be improvising and stuff. And so I was like, I'm definitely improvising in this movie. And so I went in, I improvised, and the director was like, hey man, what you're doing is funny, but like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you got to stop. And I was like, oh, okay. And at that moment, it could have like beat me down or ruined my confidence to ever try that again.
Yeah, note to self, don't ever improvise.
Right. But so what happened for this was I read the script, and I'm like, this is with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. I have 2 lines. I need more lines. It's like what I thought. And so I thought my intention, no joke, my intention was I'm going to go on this set and I'm going to improvise until they tell me to shut up, like that director did in Naked. And they never did. I improvised when I walked on. I improvised in the middle. I improvised at the end. I improvised like crazy, like everywhere that it made sense. Like, like I'm not cutting Will Smith off, obviously, right? Anywhere that like I could slip in a line that made sense within the story, I did.
To make the story better.
Yeah. And I mean, and when you talk about make the story better, I made sure to watch the movies, obviously, again, but it was like fun because I like the movies anyway. But one of the things that like I learned, and I really did think this isn't a good ending to the scene, and how the ending was written was they like were like, sing, what's your favorite Reba song, right? And then they start going bad boys, and that was the end. Then the truck comes and then they get out of there. And I'm like, that's actually not the best ending, because constantly in these movies, they almost don't make it. So I'm like, it's actually better if I raise my gun up and I'm like, that's not a Reba song, right? And then the truck comes. Like, I literally thought that. I'm like, that's a better way to end this scene. Like, you think they're going to get away from it. I'm like, you're not tricking me, right? And so I do that. I did that like immediately. First take, I immediately raised my shotgun up to Will Smith's face. Was like, that ain't no Reba song. And he immediately improvised back, it's from her mixtape. And when he did that, I was like, yes! Oh, yes. Like, it was so perfect.
He took it as the gift.
Yeah. Yep.
And gave you one back.
Yep. And it was like, and it just was like perfect, because I was able to add more to the scene. It still gives Will Smith the laugh, which is what it's supposed to do. It also shows like, oh, they're not going to make it. Oh, wait, yes, they do. Of course, right? And so it was.
They always do.
Yeah, of course. And so it was. Yeah, it was so fun, and it was wild because like as we went on throughout the day filming that scene, like the director started directing like those lines were written. Like he's like, all right, when he says the line about this, you do this. Like it like became part of the script. Like it was wild. And because I was so bold so fast and immediately it clicked, like everyone just knew like, okay, that's the next part of the, like, that's part of the scene now. So it was really cool.
And then part of the trailer.
And then part of the trailer.
And then what did I love Nathan Hesse who was in the scene with you. What did he say to you at lunch? Something about like, how did you have the balls?
We were like hanging out in like our little like tent area, and I remember like looked over and was just like, I can't believe you're improvising this much. And I remember thinking, oh, maybe this is bad, because I mean, your mind will like play tricks on you, and your confidence, if you're not careful, can just escape you so fast. And I remember for a moment thinking, oh, maybe I am improvising too much, and I just thought, yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to have some fun out there. And I just thought, no one's telling me to be quiet. No one's telling me to shut up. So they got to be liking it to some degree, and because Will Smith had improvised back so quickly, I was like, well, obviously that worked.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can create anything else. And, I don't have the clip because, I don't have the movie yet. But I'm like, I think I doubled, I think I over doubled the amount of lines that I had. And that was really like my intention is like these 2 written lines, it'll be fine for my demo reel, but it's not like a complete scene. And I want to have a complete scene with these A-list actors that will help my career. Not, oh, he had a line over there with Will Smith, but like this is a full scene. And I was like, I need something in the beginning and I need something at the end. And then I have these 2 lines kind of in the middle. Like that was really my intention. Like, how can I make a complete scene for my demo reel? Because this is going to help.
But it couldn't look like that, because if it looked like that, it probably would have just immediately been another story like Naked. Like, hey, can you stop doing that?
Yeah,
like, you can't just go in and write yourself a scene. But if you can make their movie better,
yes,
potentially, then it's a win for everyone. Literally everyone won because you made that choice.
I mean, I've learned that from you in like us doing workshops and stuff together, but when you talk about like, getting the audience to think and feel things, right? And I'm like, I mean, that's really where that line came from, is like the audience should think, oh, they're not getting away. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even just for a split second of like, that's not a Reba song. Oh, they're not getting away. And then boom, they do get away. Like I really was conscious of like, the audience is going to feel this if I do this.
It has to be about the audience.
Yep.
If it's about you, no one cares. If it's about them, of course they care.
Yeah.
And them can be millions of people. Millions of people have seen that movie and spent money to see that movie.
Yeah.
And it's literally better even in the marketing. Like even the marketing team was like, this part of the movie will help us sell the movie.
Bro, they did an entire Instagram reel
I remember
about Reba's mixtape.
I screen recorded it, didn't I, and send it to you? And maybe that was something else.
Yeah, no, when the trailer came out, you screen recorded and sent me. But they did a whole Instagram post about like Reba's mixtape.
Oh, wow.
The mixtape was from the improv. Like, do you know what I mean? So like literally an entire marketing post came from it, which was
not in the original script.
Yeah. So cool.
But just you toe to toe with Will Smith.
Yeah, yeah.
And then wasn't he like laughing at the monitor or something?
Yeah, he was so cool, man. Will Smith was so dope. And this is, I don't know if this is something anyone wants to take, but I really had ownership after each scene or after each take. Will Smith would go to the Video Village and go look at it. And I was like, I'm part of this scene too. I'm going to go look at it too. And I walked right with him. Now he had earphones. I didn't have earphones. I had to just watch it.
He wasn't like, hey, do you want to hear?
Yeah, no, he didn't do that. But he would watch it, and I'm like right here with him, and then he would look at me and be like, "That's good shit," and then he would like pound me, and I was like, "Dang." And so it was, but I mean, it was like one of the biggest things I feel like I learned from that experience was just like you belong, like. It was so easy to like when I told people the story, like, oh my God, I just got off Bad Boys and I like improvised. People were like, you did what with Will Smith? Wow, that took balls. And it's just like, yeah, you belong. Like I'm in that scene with them, like I'm not the star of Bad Boys by any means, but for that, 10 hours, 8 hours we filmed, like I'm an equal in that scene,
You're
right?
both just actors.
Yes, we're
One
both.
role is larger, but you're both actors. You're both the same position, filling in puzzle
Yeah.
pieces.
And I'm not trying to like be disrespectful by any means, but like owning that like I belong to be here. And if they're gonna maybe ad lib a line, maybe I could ad lib a line and try something out. And if he's gonna go watch the monitors, like why can't I go watch the monitor? Why can't I go look at it too? Like and you know, I'm going trying to like learn something from it too. Like where is this camera angle? I remember when I did American Reunion, I remember this scene happened and I just acted it. I just did it. And I remember watching it back being like, I missed out on screen time because I wasn't conscious of where the camera was. And I learned that lesson very quickly. So like I'm going to Video Village being like, where exactly is this camera? Should I angle my face just a little bit differently? Like
Always.
obviously with it here, if I'm looking at you here, that's not really great. But if I turn just ever so slightly, it's going to be a better angle, right? So it's like, I'm going to Video Village, like, you know, because it feels cool to be going with Will Smith, but also like, is there anything I could maybe do? Do I need to raise the gun up more, raise it lower? Like, what could I do to maybe make this picture look better?
That's huge. And I don't think that's something that a lot of beginner actors will think about when they're on set.
Right.
They're mostly concerned with hitting their mark and saying their lines or connecting with the reader and pleasing the director. They're not thinking about helping the DP, helping the cinematographer. You can help the cinematographer. You can help the editor by staying in character and reacting and thinking in character and everything happening in real time. I mean, you can help so many people that you don't think about,
Yeah.
you know, when you're kind of starting out. But as you start to see your own work and you start to get notes or learn things as you did organically, you know, you can really help out so many people instead of just fill a role.
Right, right, exactly. And you're taking ownership of the creativity you get to bring. And I think that that is most of the time always going to be welcomed. It's always going to be welcomed.
And if
I
not,
think.
they'll tell you.
Yeah, and if they don't like quote unquote welcome it, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the bigger part of the
Yeah.
story, you know? Like going back to the naked thing where the director told me, he was like, what you're doing is funny, like, but I was like a valet, you know? He's like, it just doesn't make any sense that the valet is like saying these lines, you know? So like, you gotta get the bags and you gotta leave. And I'm like, all right, fine. You know, but it's like, it's not that I was bad or he didn't like me. It was like, it doesn't make sense for the story.
Yeah.
Right?
For the audience. It's
Yeah.
about the audience.
Yep.
It's got to be about the audience.
Yep,
Everything
so
you
good.
do. If they don't believe a story or have it, some form of like investment in the story, it's a fail,
Right.
you know?
Right. Yeah. At any moment, the audience can check out. And, you know, when you're investing that much in, you know, the producers and the really overseeing everything, like every second has to be accounted for, you know? So it's got to make sense.
Yeah,
It's got to
every
serve the
shot.
story. Yeah.
If it's going to make it into the final cut,
Yep.
it needs to make the story better, not just exist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't see you there. You might be wondering, what the heck is the Virtual Actors Summit? Well, listen up and I'll enlighten you.
Picture this, a Zoom session that doesn't suck. I know, it sounds impossible, right? But trust me, this isn't your typical snooze fest where you're stuck watching someone's forehead for hours. We're actors. We know how to make things exciting. The Virtual Actors Summit is a 3-day extravaganza where you'll learn from the best in the biz. Guest instructors, agents, and casting directors. Think of it as a crash course in acting awesomeness, minus the turtlenecks and pretentious monologues. You'll get hands-on training. Actors will get real-time feedback and the chance to actually participate. No more passively listening while you're secretly scrolling on TikTok. We're talking active engagement here, people! Still wondering what the heck this is? It's your ticket to leveling up your acting career. Whether you're in a place trying to snag an agent, get more auditions, trying to book more acting jobs, this summit is your golden ticket to help you get there. And the best part? There's no upcoming union strikes to worry about. So there's no sudden plot twist here. So what the heck is the Virtual Actors Summit? It's your chance to learn some new skills, get re-energized, and not even have to put on pants. Register now, and I'll see you there.
I learned that too as a filmmaker. Like, as I matured as a filmmaker, and I will always continuously hope to film stuff and mature. I quickly learned that you don't have to keep stuff in the story if it doesn't really need to be there. Then you're just selfishly putting stuff in front of people that you want them to see. And it's not about what do we want them to see. It's what do we want them to feel.
Right.
That's a big difference. As an actor, you want audiences to feel. And if you know, like you said, like, what do I want them to feel right here? I want them to feel rushed. I want them to feel nervous. I want them to worry. That's a choice that is so selfless and will give people a stronger experience.
So good. So good.
Huge lesson, man. Well, let me ask you, like, I know that we have other exciting things coming out. I know that I'm just going to straight up say without saying that I'm very excited. You booked one of the largest shows in the world that's on Netflix and will be out next year.
Yeah.
Probably next year, maybe even late this year.
No, I think it's next year.
Probably going to be
It's
next year.
25, yeah.
Yeah. But that's exciting. And that is all a spiral of this energy and what's going on, along with, the FX show you got coming out.
Dude, yeah.
But between all of this stuff and all of these lessons, is there anything that you hope to still play? Like, is there like a dream role you'd like to do, and even potentially like a lesson that could come if you were to get your dream role?
It's interesting because I knew you were going to ask me the dream role thing.
But I put a spin on it.
Yeah. And I'm like, I do like comedies. The problem is I think sitcoms are like going extinct, but I'm like, I feel like doing a sitcom would be like an insane blast.
You also have that movie coming out where you're a major role and it's got a lot of comedic elements.
Yep. And that was so fun. Oh my God. So fun. I mean, you know what? This is just something completely different, but like that was the first time that I felt like, and I really like this. And this made me like want larger roles. And now I feel like any actor listening is like, obviously you want a bigger role. I wanted a bigger role for a completely different reason. I found out when I was on that set and I was a more of a leading character in that, I had the ability to lead the set.
The energy.
Yeah. I was able to come and like shift how the crew was feeling. I could come and like uplift everyone. And I like really took ownership of that. And I like really enjoyed that. And it was like, wow, like I'm, however, like I'm sure like when Tom Cruise is on set, right? And I'm not saying I'm Tom Cruise, right? But like when Tom Cruise, like however Tom Cruise is, like that's how the set probably is,
Absolutely.
Right? And like Tom Cruise is leading the ship. And this was the first time that I was like, wow, I really feel like a leader on this set. And I really enjoyed that. And I really liked that.
Comes with a lot of responsibility.
But I welcome it,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I remember you, it's not funny, it's cool. I remember you calling me from the drive home and kind of sharing all that positive energy that you had just felt and given away.
Yeah.
And how much of it came back to you. That you were just like, I could tell you were glowing on the phone. I remember where I was, like walking around my neighborhood. And I could just feel that you were glowing, that you had just had this like larger than life experience. And I was just so grateful to hear it and know that I helped even the slightest. And then that energy was matched 2 to 3 days ago when I was talking to one of the producers on the phone. And she relayed almost the exact same energy.
Really?
And I heard it from the other side about how wonderful your energy was, how you showed up. And you led and you made it so fun and so positive that people wanted to be around and they enjoyed. And then when you left, it was like gone. It wasn't there sometimes.
Wow.
And so it was noticed by the network.
That's crazy.
And I think this is something that actors do have. You have the ability, small role or not, you have the ability to show up with positive energy, with confidence, without being too much, just showing up and wanting to do a great job and treat people well.
Yeah.
And not everybody does that,
It's wild that they don't, and you know what? This is just, I remember, because we had like night shoots for that one, right? And so, going to set at like 10 p.m., when you normally, like, that's when you're going to bed normally. And that's when you're like, time to get like re-energized. Like, it takes some effort, right? But it was like, I would be like, well, it's my responsibility to get to set and energize everyone. So like me thinking that like is what energized me to like show up to set in like a positive, energized way to like do a good job. It was, I don't know. Yeah. I really took on that responsibility. I really liked it. So I don't know when back to your question of like the dream role, I yeah, I think like a sitcom would be fun and be cool. You know, I like comedy, like the high energy stuff. It's just like fun, you know? And so I think, you know, something like that. But yeah, I think just like being able to like lead the set, at least right now in my career, that's where I'm like, that's cool. Like I want to do more of that.
I like that. I hope that I was gonna say I hope that you find that, but I know that you will. I know that we will. I know
Yes.
it's coming. You
Yep.
know, you work so hard with such positive energy that I don't feel like anything can really get in your way. It's just a question of all the shit that I preach, the patience, positivity, and persistence. You know, you practice those, and I just know more is coming.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
You know, and I think one day you're going to be cast as a family member to Ryan Gosling.
That'd be awesome.
I see that coming, and I'm going to hope to help make it happen.
Yes, let's do it.
Cool, man. Well, as you know, every guest on the show wins a free car.
Is it under my chair? No.
It's in my Star Wars bag.
All right.
If you reach in here, there's some
All right.
really cool ones.
Let's see.
Let's see what you get.
Let's see. Bro,
What'd you get?
dude, I
What'd
got
you
the
get?
911 Porsche.
Yes!
Dude, this is literally from Bad Boys.
It is from Bad Boys.
Did,
That's amazing.
is there like only Porsches in there?
No, there's all. I mean, there was a Batmobile at one time. You
Oh,
never know what you're gonna
Batmobile
get.
would have been good, bro. When I feel like did everybody feel this way when they got when they watched Bad Boys? Like everybody wanted the 911 Porsche, right?
I mean, I always did.
I
I always wanted a Porsche ever since Dylan McKay 90210.
it's
you
still
know?
it's still a dream car for me. This one exactly. That's
And now you got
crazy.
one.
And now I got
You
one.
can open it, or you could,
Dude.
you know, sell it on eBay. Whatever you want to do with it.
Sell it on eBay. No, I'm taking it out. And then when we convert the studio to my show, now it's gonna be hanging out. Now it's gonna be hanging out
Nice.
by the computer.
Your Bad Boys
Yes.
Porsche 911 will live on with positive energy.
Bro, that's perfect, dude. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't believe I chose
Well, thank
that
you
one.
for producing the show and letting me do my thing and helping with it and making it look so good, and you know, all the time that you know, for free, that you put into the show is really
Bro.
admirable.
So welcome. I'm glad that we can help the community. I think and beyond. You know, help the. I guess the entertainment community. I'm glad that we're on the journey together, man.
When you have a very big day tomorrow.
Yes, that's right. The Virtual Actor Summit is tomorrow. So if you don't have your ticket, get your ticket. But I mean, this is one of our biggest events. I just love the 3-day event. You know, we talked about it
love it
when we flipped it. You know, that Tony Robbins for Actors style thing. And so I just love bringing that. And so we're excited. The other room we turn into the studio and the virtual stage. And so
Very high energy.
yeah,
I remember
yeah.
last year. I mean, it's just, I'm excited. I'm
Yeah, I
excited
was
to be a
gonna
part of it
say,
again.
and you're back. So I'm excited to do that session with you, focused on like booking self tapes and seeing the different things that book and talking about it. It's gonna be dope.
Yep.
So those of you that have your ticket, get excited. Those of you that don't have your ticket, this might be your time to consider getting one. But yeah, I'm super excited. And speaking of, probably need to get to work.
Probably. And, you know, it was your birthday week too. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of good things going on.
Dude, but just like if you remember last month, you were at my house filming on your birthday, and just like you love it, like literally I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to do anything else on my birthday weekend than like be serving actors, speaking, inspiring, motivating, getting people to shift. Like, I don't think I can write it up any better.
I love that. Hell yeah, man. All right. Well, thank you to everybody for watching. I hope to see many of you, you know, at the Actor Summit, the virtual summit. It is an awesome, awesome event. I loved it last year. And if you would like to be a guest on this show one day, because you have a good booking story with a lesson, feel free to pitch it directly to us. The email is talentagenttalk@gmail.com. Again, that's talentagenttalk@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning into this extremely unique and special episode. Thanks for all the wonderful comments on our matching tiger suits, you know, these track suits. We appreciate those comments, and I hope something great happens to you today.
Thanks for watching this episode of Talent Agent Talk. And if you're enjoying these booking stories and your host, Jason Lockhart, then I hope that you'll join us at the Virtual Actor Summit. One of our sessions is going to be with Jason focused on different tapes and self-tape auditions that have booked and diving into why we think they've booked and different lessons within them. So it's kind of like this show, but really diving in. So if you're enjoying this, I know that you'll love that session at the Virtual Actor Summit. It's going to be a 3-day event. We're bringing in incredible guests like Chase Paris, Ryan Glorioso, Erica Arvold, just to name a few. So I hope you'll grab your ticket. There's a promo in the description below. So we'll see you there.